Good evening. My name is Movendra Analaki Chandrasekharan, and I'm the project manager for the MPU4 project Youth Connect 2024, which took place at Chancellor Hall last month on the 21st of September. So, the targeted community for our event are children aged 3 to 19 from Pusat Pertubuhan Penjagaan Satu Malaysia in Ipoh. So, the objective of our event is to encourage a sense of unity among the children of the orphanage and to encourage them to broaden themselves and to interact with people outside of their social circles. We did this by conducting multiple games which encourage communication between the children and their buddies whom are members from our group, which helps them to communicate with people outside of the orphanage, outside of people that they are normally used to seeing in their daily life. My task for the planning phase was to brainstorm ideas with my team and my supervisor, Dr. Bajan Lal, to ensure that we were able to narrow down a specific idea for our MPU4 project. I also organized a site visit and conducted a survey with the stakeholders at the center in Ipoh to ensure that we were able to solve a problem of need faced by our stakeholders. I also organized regular team meetings with my team to ensure that everybody was on the same page. And one of my most prominent tasks was to assist department HODs with their tasks, for example, assisting the HOD of logistics in their effort to book a bus for the event, as well as assisting the media department to prepare and to design and to get the design of our t-shirts approved by CSD. Another one of my prominent tasks was to communicate with CSD, to communicate with Puan Ruziana and Puan Farida to ensure that their messages delivered to me were being sent to the team, and to also inform Dr. Bajan of any updates provided to me by CSD. And finally, one of my most important tasks was to discuss event activities with our stakeholders. With the aid of WhatsApp, I was able to communicate with Mr. Chong, who was the chairman of the center in Ipoh, to ensure that we were able to be on the same page and to ensure that the orphanage were aware of what type of activities we were conducting, the day of the event, the timeline, the proposal, the agenda, as well as the availability of the bus to ensure that both parties were on the same track. My task during the event was to supervise the event execution to make sure that all games go according to plan and no major mishaps happen during the execution of the games. Apart from that, I was also in charge of keeping track of the timing of the event. And finally, I was in charge of visiting the orphanage after the event to hand out donations from our committee to the kids of the orphanage. As for my task after the event, I oversaw the cleanup and wrap up of the event to ensure that all the tables, chairs, facilities, and the venue was left in the state that it was in when we arrived. I also conducted a post-event review to discuss about the event and possible improvements for the future. And finally, right now, I'm in charge of keeping track of all the assessments that are needed to be submitted on ULearn and keeping track of all students and their progress in submitting these assessments.